subscribe. If you like tutorials in After Effects, Keyframe Studio PL.
Hey framers, whatever brought you here, maybe you accidentally lied on your CV for a high-paid job, or maybe you just want a new creative hobby, you're in the right place. This is Animation We Will Learn. In this lesson, I'll walk you through After Effects step by step and make it easier than you ever expected. Let's start with creating a new composition. We call it main. Resolution will be 1920 by 1080. When you set the duration, check the numbers on the right. If you type 1000, that gives you 10 seconds. To bring the files into After Effects, right-click, go to Import, select File, set it to Footage, and hit Import. Staying organized is really important. We'll create 2 folders and move the right files into each of them. First, we will call Pre-Comp, and we will move Main Composition to this folder. The second folder we call Assets, and we move Image to this folder. You can import images into a composition in 2 ways. First, drag the image straight into the composition panel. Second, drag it into your timeline if you already have a composition open. To open the scale property, simply press S on your keyboard. You can adjust the scale by clicking and dragging to increase or decrease the value, or by entering a number manually. Press the toggle transparency grid to check your background. You'll see the composition is actually transparent. To add a background, we need a solid layer. Just right-click, go to New, and select Solid. Pick any color you like from the palette, or use the eyedropper tool to select the color from your screen. Let's change the name of this layer to BG. Right now, the background is sitting above the image, so let's drag it down to the bottom of the layer stack so we can see the image. To rename a layer, just double-click the layer's name and type in whatever you want. All right, let's make our first animation. Click the image layer to highlight it, then press P to open the position settings. Drag the playhead to 2 seconds and add your first keyframe. Nice job. That's your first keyframe. Here's a really good habit. Set the final keyframe first, and then when I drag the playhead back to the beginning, I change the position value there. Another helpful tip: when you drag the image outside the screen, give it some extra space. This is the room for motion blur. To preview, we press spacebar. And this is our first animation. Congrats. Right now, we highlight both of the keyframes. Right-click on one of those. We go to Keyframe Assistant and choose Easy Ease. I made this simple graph to show the difference between standard keyframes and Easy Ease. Standard keyframes move at a constant speed. The motion starts fast and ends fast. Easy Ease, on the other hand, slows the animation down at the start and the end, creating a much smoother and more natural movement. I really recommend using Easy Ease keyframes, particularly if you are new to animation. Now highlight both keyframes and let's open the graph editor. If your graph looks different, just open graph type and change it to speed graph. And this is what the Easy Ease speed graph looks like. And this is what the standard keyframe graph looks like. You can jump between keyframes by clicking the little arrows beside the diamond symbol. The second way is to use the shortcuts J and K. Let's reveal the scale property as well. Just hold Shift and press S. Let's create a keyframe at second 2. Now let's go back to the start and set another keyframe with the scale at 0. We highlight both of the keyframes, Keyframe Assistant and Easy Ease. Let's see, what do we have. It's looking good. Now let's add opacity. Hold shift and press T to reveal it. Go to the 2-second point on the timeline and set a keyframe for opacity. We go to start and set opacity at 0. We highlight both of the keyframes and press F9 easy ease. Now let's see, what do we have? Let's also reveal the rotation property. Hold shift and press R. On the second two, we mark a keyframe. We go to start. We set the value at 1. We highlight both of the keyframes and F9. Right now we change the start value to -1. And let's see, what do we have? Right now we change the value to 0. And we put -180 degrees. And let's see, what do we have? We go to start and change the value to +250 degrees. Now, when it comes to rotation, we actually have multiple options to work with. Right now, we're going to animate the anchor point. Now move to 215 and adjust the anchor point position. When we change the anchor point, you'll see how it affects the way the rotation behaves. Let's add keyframes to all of these properties. That way the position and the rest of the values stay exactly where they are. We highlight both of anchor point keyframe and F9 easy ease. We go to second 3. And we change the position property. Let's change the scale value to 40. We change position value a little bit. Now let's change the rotation value to -21 degrees. Let's preview everything. It's looking great. We will go to second 4. And change position value. We can increase and decrease the value of scale. But in this case, we will leave at 53. We will change the rotation value to +22 degrees. And opacity value to 80%. Now go to 407 and add keyframes to all the properties to hold the animation in place. Then we go into second 5. And we will change position value. Okay, that's good. We change the rotation value to -1. Scale to 0. And opacity value to 0 as well. So let's preview, what do we have? Once you preview it, you can move the keyframes from 407 to 324. This gives the animation a nicer pacing and a little more breathing space. Congratulations, you've just created your first animation. If you have any questions or run into any problems, feel free to ask in the comments. And if you're ready for the next lesson, just comment next. Thank you, framers. See you in the next one.